So now we're gonna start a topic which is actually named guided tissue regeneration membranes. In this we will do the non-bioresorbable membranes, those membranes that are not resorbable. So let's start it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now basically the material number one is actually expanded polytetrafluoroethylene. Okay, this is actually a non-bioresorbable membrane. Then you have miscellaneous membranes like millipore membrane, rubber dam. Okay, and bioresorbable means those membranes that are resorbable are synthetic polymers, means artificial polyurethane, polylactic acid, lactide or glycolate copolymers, or the name is, for example, you have polylactin 910. Okay, polylactic acid blend with the citric acid ester. Okay, in the natural biomaterials you have the collagen, then you have calcium sulfate. Okay, now they have told you some properties of non-bioresorbable membranes. Cellulose acetate filters. Okay, the first commercial membrane was produced from this. This is polytetrafluoroethylene, means the first commercial membrane was produced from this, and this membrane has all the properties that was important for GTR. Always remember that when we place something artificial in the body, so that we see the properties. So number one, cellular barrier. It is actually work as a barrier. So how the properties of the barrier is it a good barrier or not? Biocompatible, it should be biocompatible, either then it will cause the reaction. Okay, provide space for the healing tissue. It should provide adequate space so the tissue can heal properly. Permits the tissue integration, so means it should properly blend with the surrounding tissues that is present in the oral cavity. Clinically manageable, means it should be easily placed. Okay, now much of our current understanding of GTR is based on studies using which membrane, that is actually polytetrafluoroethylene membrane. Okay, now this is the membrane. Okay, in which these are the indications where we use the GTR. Use less frequently nowadays, but it is actually guided bone regeneration. Okay, which if you want to preserve the ridge or guided bone regeneration. Okay, you can see here there is actually the reflection of flap is happening actually here. Then the membrane is placed, and then it is actually the healing process has been started. Okay, surgical procedure. After when flaps have been reflected in surgical area, the defect is degranulated, means that area is cleaned. The granulation tissue has been removed and the root surface has been scaled or root plant. The membrane is trimmed to adapt to the tooth configuration, means it has been trimmed it so it can put it properly and adapt to the tissue structure. Secured by the PTFE sutures, and the flap is repositioned, means it is the description of the previous, that how the flap is removed, reflected, then the granulation tissue is removed by scaling and root planing. The membrane was trimmed in order to adapt the tissue configuration, and then it was sutured and the flap is repositioned. Notably, although much of emphasis in the literature is on adapting the membrane to the defect. Okay, very important is the membrane should adapt the defect, means it should be properly placed. Okay, but one thing is also important, that these membranes are artificial, so it takes time to adapt perfectly but no membranes means because at the end of the day it is artificial, and artificial thing need time for proper adaptation. Sometimes even it does not adapt. Despite the presence of gap between membrane and root surface, these membrane seem to work, but still it can means you will think how these membranes work, but it actually works. So first we have read about the qualities of bioresorbable membrane, like it should be a cellular barrier, biocompatible, should have place for the healing, etc. It should also have the should adapt to the tooth configuration, which is one of the thing important. The healing process is means it is occur in 4 to 6 weeks, and second surgery is performed in order to remove the membrane. This is the, again you can see it. Factors affecting GTR. First of all, patient related, like local factors. If the patient has not properly the plaque control, or if the bleeding has been, then lifestyle is very important actually. Okay, either it is compliance or not, means systematic factors, like okay, then this you have also stress, either the patient do smoking or not. One of the factor is also age, because in age the healing process is slow. If you control all these factors, then you can have the defect, then you can do the GTR, or you can place the membrane, or either no, then you will guard the prognosis, then you will see and observe. Now when you do GTR, so what are important things you should be in mind? Anatomic defects, intraosseous defects, like what is the thickness of gingiva, one wall, two wall, three wall, what are defects. Then you have broad classification, which is actually like broad, shallow, or either broad, deep, narrow, shallow, and narrow, deep. These are the classifications of gingival recession, one of them. Then when you when the defect is reduced, so then it is actually treatment of choice.